Hi again. More about frequently asked questions for marriage counseling. And for this video, I'm going to answer the question when to separate the couple in their sessions, not to separate the marriage, when to separate the couple in their counseling sessions. So it came from a very good questions. I have a lot of calls from about marriage counseling, and one of the first things they ask is, should I come alone, or do we come as a couple already for the first session? Right? I will always annoyingly throw back the question to you: do you feel like coming alone first? Now, not why is this? Because there's no fixed rule to it. There is a definition that when you say couples counseling, it should be for the couples, correct? I make it a default that when you say couple session, ideally, we're calling out a couple session because we have to deal with the dynamics of the husband and the wife, the boyfriend and the girlfriend, the mother and the daughter, the father and the son. They will have to be dealing with the communication issues. It's variables involving the dyad. We will be dealing with the variables including that involves the dyad, the dyadic relationship, and thus it's by default that when you say couples counseling, two of you will come. It's about your relationship to one another. So it's not really fair if one person just comes and the other one is remotely healed or is being requested to change remotely. I talked about this in the previous video, in the other video that I made. I'll place the link downstairs about coming to a couple session on your own. It may not be fair to the one who's not there. So here are the three. I'll have three reasons why when the couple will be separated. So hear me out. When the couple comes in, the first reason that we will separate the couples. So to separate the couple simply means that they will have their very own sessions first, then they will come again later on. Number one reason is for the communication breakdown. I usually put the couples on their own corners first. Each one will have a 45-45 as we call it. When the communication breaks down, when you put husband and wife together and it just becomes a shouting match, it just becomes a one up fight, one up fight where I'm wrong, oh, I'm right, you're wrong. The other one would say, no, I'm right, you're wrong. And it becomes a shouting match. Nothing productive happens. We call this a communication breakdown. Nothing fruitful, nothing constructive will happen here. They're simply here to defend their side and look correct by pointing out the mistakes of the other. Then, time out, man. Let's talk to you first. The other one waits outside. Or sometimes we'll just say, sometimes it does happen, right? When they will ask, should we come together or should I come alone first? Sometimes I would ask them, what do you think? How do you feel about this? It's not an expert opinion. It's a personal decision. I want to come first because I know if I come here, my husband will keep on interrupting me. So it's a lot of time will be wasted on that one, and a lot of therapists like myself do not really want to treat the couples like children. Most of the time they're older than me, man, and I have to tell them to keep quiet, to please respect the rules. So we just separate them. Communication breakdown. The second reason is when husband or wife, either one of the dyad, have sensitive information that they cannot bring out to light yet because their partners are there. You will see this as a secret sign. The husband will start winking and I say, okay, I think I need to separate you two. Then the husband would, I will sense to break down the couple, and I'll just tell them, I sense you holding back because your wife is there. What is it that you're keeping from her? And I believe it's nothing sinister. It's something to protect her feelings with. And I would say, I think you have to know, my wife doesn't know I had an affair. Same goes for the wives. And there are, just to be fair to both genders, there have been instances on this one. The wife telling me their secrets, which the husband doesn't know, which they believe is important to come out in therapy. And in this case, I would say, let's do individuals first. We cannot keep on doing couples when you're very careful with what you're saying. Either you're too afraid to spark a forest fire, or you don't want to hurt someone, Either way, you're withholding information and you cannot be fully yourself in the session. We separate the couple first. Communication breakdown. The second one is there's sensitive information that's being kept from coming to light. So the husband or the wife holds back. We separate you guys first. Last one would be individual issues. If the couple dynamics, the progression of the counseling sessions are held back because of someone's personal condition. Say, for example, the most common one would be depression. Someone is burnt out. Someone is they have narcissistic tendencies, or I start seeing that it's actually becoming the husband's individual session and the wife ends up as the listener. We're busy dealing with the husband's issues of addiction. Then I will just say, let's have a break from the couple session. We'll deal with the husband's addictions first. Then we can congregate afterwards. Sometimes I focus on the wife. It becomes me and the wife speaking because it's her issues, individual personal issues, and the husband just becomes a spectator of her counseling session, which is an individual session. There's just an observer, and they pay for the rates of a couple's counseling session. I don't find it fair for the couple. I will just tell them, I think I should see your wife individually first. And in this case, we have two models. The first model is right before the couple session happens. I will meet with the husband or wife first, at least one session for each, just to be fair. Smooth data gathering, I would call it. I will get the narrative of the husband without the wife's presence, and I will get the narrative of the wife without any interruptions from the husband. Then we can come together for a couple session. Model number 2, which is the default, I should have spoken about this first. Model number 2 is when the couple comes in and we detect any of the 3 conditions. Communication breakdown, someone is holding back in fear of the partner, or an individual issue arises. There's an addiction for one person, there's narcissism for the other, and what we have to do is to rule out that variable first, then deal with the couple session. The last question that pops up with these matters is it okay to have the same therapist for the husband, for the wife, and for the couple combined? Will there be a conflict of interest? That's the first worry, the conflict of interest. In the first place, in Christian counseling centers, I cannot speak for all, but more or less, we should be pro-marriage. You should trust your therapist, the couples counselor, the marriage counselor, as someone who is going to fight for your marriage. And as such, we are pro-husband, we are pro-wife, we are pro-marriage. We are not here to side with one and point the finger at the other. We are not here to side with the wife and put down the husband. Being pro-marriage, we are here, we will do our best to connect and stitch up the relationship because we want to honor God's covenant. So in this sense, I would say having the same therapist for all 3 conditions, counseling the husband, counseling the wife, counseling the couple, it's gonna have a seamless information flow. Another model for this one is counselor A for the husband, counselor B for the wife. It's still possible, although you guys will have to decide who will be the marriage counselor. The problem with this one is that the information will be slower to be transmitted because the counselor for the husband will have to communicate with the counselor for the wife. So I actually prefer there's one counselor for husband, wife, and the couple. So I hope this one answers your question. If you're going through some marital conflicts right now, this isn't I would say it's not to tone down your hurts, it's not to tone down your fears, but these things happen. So do contact us if you need help, if you have questions. Link and emails and the contact numbers below. God bless you guys.